Hi, guys. I'm so excited to share this with you tonight. I just want to make sure you can see Lawrence on the screen. Sometimes
Yes.
when I share, excellent. Okay. I just wanted to let you know that I went for an hour hike today and I listened to this talk that he did a few days ago. And it really resonated with me because it made me understand and realize, the things that I had done over the years to be successful, but also the things that I didn't do in the beginning as well. And I learned, you learn through your mistakes. And what's really nice is he's, laying it on right out there for us so that we don't make those mistakes earlier in our business as we're building promoters and introducing the business to people. So let's listen to what he has to say. We can have a small discussion after, and then we'll close with a quick little minute with Maxwell.
They're impacting people,
Oh, hang on.
and more people are being.
Just want to make sure.
Yes, we had a bunch
I thought I had it.
of Amanda
Hang on a second. It must have moved.
17th
Just move this up because that
Now
one
the
does recognition
product
in the
they have
beginning.
from my
Sorry
team.
about that.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Here we go.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alan, for all you do. Congratulations to everyone on those step ups. It means they're impacting people, and more people are being touched. And today's topic is, something to me that's very important because I think all of us listening want other people doing the business with us. And we all want greater duplication. And all of us, I think, would love to have people constantly telling us, thank you for helping them have success. And so again, the title of this talk today is making sure your new recruiter, person you recruited, starts out on the right path. And the question might be, what's the right path? That's the path that gives them the best chance of taking action and staying in Neolife, to use this Neolife business to accomplish their goals in life. And if we want them on this right path, we need to grab hold and take action on some of the things we're going to talk about if you want to help them in on that right path and have a greater percentage of chance of succeeding in reaching their goals. If you could pick today a choice of either being the top recruiter in Neolife, that recruited more people than anyone else, or you could choose to be the person that's an average recruiter, but your people that you recruit have the greatest percentage of success. I myself would rather have the last one. I would rather the people that I recruit experience success at a higher percentage. And I think that in turn makes recruiting easier if you've got good percentages that you can talk to the next person. And that's why I tell people, when you get somebody signed up in your business, treat them like gold, even that first person. I've seen so many people worried about recruiting a bunch of people when they get started. And we do want to touch and reach as many people as we can, but when you help, people don't care how much you make. They care how much you can help them make. And so if you can take your first person and you can help them to earn $1,000 a month, then the next time you try to recruit someone, all you have to say to them is, hey, the last person that I picked to join my business is making $1,000 after 6 months of doing this business. Would you like be the next person I take underneath my wing and train? Well, do you think recruiting becomes a lot easier then? Of course it does. So again, you want to help your new people have success as much as you can for your part. So again, you can't do all, you can't do all the work for them, but you can help them have the best chance of success. And it might surprise you to realize that a lot of the $1 million a year incomers in network marketing, a lot of them haven't signed up as many people as you might think. but they've done a good job of training those people. You don't want to be one of those people that you're having people drop out as fast as your recruit, which happens in a lot of network marketing companies. Thankfully, it doesn't happen in Eli because our products are so darn good. It keeps people in there. We have such great people doing the business that we have people that stay in the business. But again, you want to keep as many of those people as you recruit as you can. I've talked about it, but we need to keep hearing that example I give. It's doing this business is like pushing a car up a hill. You don't want, you want to keep pushing it up till you get up to the top where momentum kicks in. And that's what you want to do with a brand new person that you sign up. It's not easy signing up somebody. You have to go through a number. I call it a pearl business, pearl hunting business. You have to pull up a lot of oysters and open them up to find a pearl. And so when you find someone, it's so easy to relax. And that is not when you need to relax, like pushing that car up the hill. That's when you need to keep really giving your attention and effort, is when you've got that brand new person signed up, because that's the most excited, they're going to be unless they have fuel added to the fire. And that's when you get a brand new person. What you want to do is add as much fuel to that initial fire, because again, everything brand new has something exciting, it produces enthusiasm from us. And so you want to take advantage of that while you have it, and really use that time and set up a time to talk to them. And yes, you want to get them in the getting started, video, to look at that and follow up with them and look at it with them. I think it's important. And then ask them what they got out of it and help them to do those steps, and our getting started paper that we have on our website. You want to get them in that, but I think you need to set a time that you also set up, if you can, to meet them, either doing a Zoom call meeting with them or in person, better yet, but you determine that for your situation and that person. But, and go through the catalog with them and get them excited about all the different products there, and teach them how to just read it, can do a presentation, so it's a great thing to do with your first new person. But what you have to realize is this, that first 30 days is so critical that they're in the business. It's the black hole I talk about in network marketing, is a person's first 30 days, because that's when a lot of people drop out, in essence. It's what happens in that first 30 days usually shows you the percentage of chance of them succeeding. If no action takes place, that excitement starts wearing off, and you're going to have to resell them. And it's harder doing that than it is doing a good job of that first time when they're excited and they just signed up, and you add all that fuel then. That's the way to get them over the hill so they can start going downhill, which is a lot easier than pushing the car uphill. And so during that first 30 days, people are going to fall into, one or two groups most of the time during that first 30 days. And you need to realize that. And, the first group is, those that start taking action and get success and continue to go on and grow their business. That's the first group. And the second group has, I call it, two different types of experiences. One is those who never take action. And when I meet with somebody, I like to use this statement. I say, can I tell you what the worst thing is about this business? And I lean into them, which I get their attention when I say it. And they say, yes. And I say, it's that this business costs you so little to get involved. And why is that the worst thing? Because I know if you put down $250,000 to buy a franchise, or you started a small business, the average person starting a small business has to invest $55,000. That's the average small business. And I say, but I know where you'd be if you had that kind of money involved. I know where you'd be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, where you would be. And I know you would continue to be there until you started making a profit or it went out of business, which 50% of those people go out of business after investing at, on average, 55,000. 50% of those go out of business. But I know where you'd be this next week, in the next month, in the next year. But because this costs you so little, it's easy to just never get around to it. And I like to talk to them about that because I think it brings a realistic picture to them. So again, in this second group is 2 people, and that's the first one that never takes action. The second one is even worse group to me. And that's the people that took action and didn't get any success from their actions. And they end up thinking they have a problem, and the problem is themselves. They're not right for this business. This business might work for others, but it won't work for them because they're not good enough. That's the group you do not want your new recruits to be in. So again, you need to take advantage when they get started. And I call it, to help give a visual of it too, another visual, I call it getting them across the line principle. And what I mean is, think of an imaginary line today. And on one side of that line, it's easy to quit the business or never do it. The other side of the line, it's easier to stay in the business and continue to do Neolife business. You know, where they make that commitment, they're going to keep on going no matter what. So today's talk is how to best help them get across that line, to be serious about building the Neolife business. And so again, there's one side of that line where it's easy for them to quit. The other side of that line where it's easier to stay in the business. Our goal is to help people get across that line. And that takes effort on our part. And that takes us holding their hand and helping walk them over that line by helping them experience enough benefits that leave them feeling it's easier to stay in this business, better to stay in Neolife business than to not be involved in it. In other words, you want to get them across that line till they want to marry Neolife, make that commitment to death do them part. You know, they want to, no matter the ups and downs in life, they're going to hang in there. And getting a marriage usually takes purposefully wooing them and helping someone. So let me ask you some questions to help you to see what you need to do to help them get across that line. And I want you to think of people. I also want you to think of a brand new distributor as like a baby that you hold in your arms. You know, we just had our 18th grandchild delivered. Got another one in the womb. For one of the other, her other son and daughter-in-law. But think of them like a baby. A baby needs a lot of help. You can't expect them just to walk out and go get their own, walk to the refrigerator and get their own food and everything. You know, to go to the bathroom, you know, to walk to the bathroom, you have to bring the bathroom to them, right? As it were, getting rid of that waste. And so you need to, you know, so again, how can you help them over that line? One of the ways, wouldn't you say, of helping them is to help them have a good experience with the products. That'll help them to stay on that side of the line. I remember a guy, one of the first $1 million earners in one of the network marketing companies, you know, first one to make $1 million a year. And he talked about one of his greatest distributors, his biggest downline, came from him going 3 levels down to help a customer to lose weight, one that was frustrated, not having a good experience with the product. And when somebody doesn't have a good experience with the product, the negative effects go up and down. And so he helped them to have success. And they weren't a person that wanted to do a business, but that led them to telling other people about the product though, and got somebody downline of them that became a star. And that made them a lot of money, my friend, a lot of money. Because again, he helped that person to have a good experience with the products. And so, and do you think if people don't take the products or don't have a good experience with the products, are they going to, again, do you think they're going to probably be successful and stay in the business? Of course not. So again, help them. And weight loss is one of the hardest things to do. And so, haven't we seen great success with one of our distributors being the star of helping people, the people they've helped, like John and his wife, to have so much success with the products and losing weight? Of course we have. And so, and again, that led to business because they helped them. And so again, help your person have success. And so what are, if they pay money to go to a convention and get to see the big picture, come to a wisdom builder retreat and get to see the big picture, do you think they're going to have more success? Of course they are. Again, you've got to remember, you know more about this business than they do. So many people recruit somebody and they just back off saying, well, I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to, look, you're called to be a leader. I mean, who wants to sign up under somebody that's a worse leader than them? Everybody wants somebody that's a better leader than them. And they're looking to you for a leader. If you led them into the business to sign up, they're looking for you to keep on leading them, not to desert them. So lead them, be confident. You know more about convention than they do. Help them, encourage them to get over that line and take that step of signing up. If you show no confidence in how important convention is, how are they going to have confidence enough to put their money into it? I think you'd be wise, a lot of you, if you know the person, they have good ethics, to say, look, if you don't love it, I'll pay you back that money. You should have that kind of confidence to be able to say that. Say, that's how much I believe it's good for you. But you got to go. And you got to pay attention the whole time. Take notes, meet people. But if you don't like it, I'll pay you money back. That's the kind of confidence you have to have if you want to build a business. If you won't put your money where your mouth is, you need to look and see, where is your confidence level at? And again, if you can get them to convention, we know the percentages people stay with it, the business. They build bigger businesses. If people make friends in Neolife, do you think there's a greater chance of them staying in Neolife? Of course there is. I mean, we've talked about the example of John and Amanda Smith, how they just went to a Wisdom Builders conference, having never tried the products, weren't looking for a business, but they met people and created friendships that said, hey, we want our kids to be around this. And so again, if you can help them to create friends, I've talked about the percentages at our last retreat of people. I know it's shocking, people had a hard time believing it, but so few people make friends today. We live in such a different society than our forefathers did. People don't even know their neighbors, a lot of people today. And so again, if you can help them create friendships, and that's why when you get them involved, you need to introduce them on the phone and Zoom calls, however you are, you need to get them connected to other people, take them out to lunch, help them meet some other distributors, Breakfast of Champions, get them to some meetings to meet other Neolife distributors and help them to create some friendships if you want to keep them in there. I mean, people join sports teams, they join the military sometimes just to be part of a group. We are missing that so much today. And so, you want your people to hang around long enough to grow in their skills, to improve, because if they can go to these trainings and learn these skills, it's not going to just help them to build a Neolife. You know that it's going to help them in every area of their life be a better mate, be a better parent, be a better friend, be a better church member by learning these skills that we teach in the Wisdom Builders in Neolife. If they hear stories of other people having success in the business, success with the products, do you think that's going to help them to be more, to come over that line? to stay in the business when they hear all these things and think, what, that could be my friends. I could have some friends that have that problem, and I don't know about it yet, but they're going to need these products. I've got friends that have financial problems, and this thing is working. So make sure when you get them, when you have that meeting, that you make sure you have them signed up in both our Facebook groups, both for the products testimonies and for the business testimonies, the ideal business one, because that increases their chances. You need, when they understand what these products can do you think that helps them to stay in this business longer? Again, of course. So get them listening to Lawson, because nobody will help them to get a bigger picture of what they have in their hands and the people around them that they love and care about. They need these products. Lawson will do that. People will work for money, but they'll die for a cause. Get them seeing this cause. Lawson can do that. Help them to realize 1 out of 2 of their friends are going to get cancer. That's the percentages. 1 out of 2 of them are going to die by a heart attack. And we can help those percentages for their friends not to be in that group of the 50% that happen to. Can't promise them, but we can increase their percentages. If they make a public statement at a Wisdom Builders retreat that they're going to build a business, if they make that public statement, do you think that helps them stay in the business? If you get them right off the bat when you meet them that first time, you get them sending out texts to their friends. Hey, I've started a new business. Will you just take a minute to look at this 3-minute video, about the breakfast pack or whatever, or Pro Vitality Pack, that 3-minute video. And you teach them, literally do it for them, either on Zoom showing them or in person showing them how to send that, and give them the text, whether, whatever you want to use, whether, hey, are you taking supplements? Would you like to know? I just listened to this video on what to look for in a supplement, and send them the link, show them how to send it, and have them say, hey, why don't you send 25 right now? Just take you a few seconds. Let me show you how fast this is done. Now, if they make that public, you think they're going to want to quit now that they've told their friends about it? No, get them moving right then. Plus, you want to get them success, and they can't have success without taking action. You want to help them feel comfortable doing this business. That makes it easier for them to stay in it. So you showing them how to do it and you helping them to do it helps them. Again, they're a baby. Treat them like such. Take leadership. You know more than they do. Don't sit back and get self-conscious and be afraid of being a leader. They're looking for that. Most people grow up in a world, you got to realize the world we grow up in, we grow up with our parents tell us what to do, and they do, at first they tell us what we can do, then we go to school and they tell us what we need to learn. We go to college, they tell us what we need to learn. We go to a job, they tell us what we need to do, and then you're expecting them to be self-motivated by themselves. You're not giving them any input, telling them what the next step is. That's just insane thinking. It's terrible thinking. It's hurting them. What's the hardest thing for people to deal with in this business? What is it? We all know it's fear, it's rejection. Learning how to recruit successfully, that is the hardest thing. They're a baby. They need you by their side going through those things.
Oops.
They need your help to experience success. Otherwise, they're going to think they're the problem. They're not good enough. So help them at this beginning. Teach them, tell them, use these words. I hope you'll go back and look and listen to this and write down your notes. I thought about giving you my notes, but I decided, no, that would be a good idea, because you need to listen to this enough that you hear it and you write it, because that helps you remember it better. These are things you need to do. They need to be like, what's your birthday? You need to be able to, these things need to become second nature to you. And you need to teach them, and you need to say to them, just like, the this is just like music. At first you're going to make mistakes, and you need to think of yourself as like a music teacher, that you're there at the beginning to help encourage them, because it's not very easy when you start learning a musical instrument. You make the sounds are horrible that you're making. You miss the note most of the time, and they need somebody right by them sides. It helps increase their chances of continuing on if they have a good teacher that encourages them, and every little bit that they do right, they're saying, yes, that's good. And helping them to know that, hey, they just having somebody by their side to say, hey, if you keep going by this, I think you're going to be good. Again, one of the greatest gifts you can give them is getting them over that line, for it being easier to stay on that side of the line. They're going to, hearing them thank you for helping them do that. You need to know the game you're in. You need to know the rules and the stats that you need to know and do to help you win. In the first 30 days, the first 90 days of this business, the stats are, I listen to one of the biggest trainers in the network marketing, and he says the stats in network marketing are, if a person hasn't earned a check in their first 90 days, they have a 20% chance of staying in the business. If they aren't earning something during that first 90 days. If they do earn any check for even $1, their retention rate is 74%. What do you want? 20% for your friends and your recruits, or 74%? Help them to earn a check. Help them to have success at the beginning. And they're going to stay in there. So this is a metric you need to realize and learn, and you need to help them. And so, part of this, again, your game plan with a new person. I'm sorry I'm going over, but I think we need a few more points, and I'll wrap it up. But you need to validate their decision when you meet with them. Everybody has that buyer's remorse. They doubt themselves, and they sometimes have family that help them doubt themselves. And you need to say, this is great that you've stepped out to be an entrepreneur, that you want to write the script of your life, that you want to start your own business instead of working for someone else to reach their goals. You started a business to help you and your family to get the things that you want to provide for them. And you need to find out what their why is, because again, their why is it's going to help you to know how to motivate them, because they're not here to fulfill your goals. Everybody's got different goals of why they get in this business. What's not important to you is important to them sometimes. And you need to tell them, what is your why? And tell them, say, don't tell me what you think will impress me. Be honest with yourself. What will motivate you? What why will motivate you? Is it a brand new car? Is it helping your kids go to private school? Is your why that you want to one day, you've got a terrible boss, and you want to one day walk in to your boss and say, hey, I just can't afford to work here anymore. I'm making more part-time than I'm making this full-time job. Maybe give them that illustration. Say, is that your why? Is it to go on vacation, to go on a nice vacation and not have to look and worry about every penny your family is spending? What's your why? And then, and try to get down to you see them, unless you're showing emotion about their why, you probably haven't really gotten to the why that's going to motivate them. And that's an art, learning how to do that. But you'll never get to learn that art unless you do this a number of times, sign up a number of people and go through this and try to help them to pull out their why. And again, second thing you need to do is help them set expectations. And I've sort of talked about that of telling them. And, on one hand, you want to let them know success or failure is up to them. We ultimately, and like everything in life, they're going to get wrong notes. When you're learning a sport, you're going to miss some shots, miss hitting the ball. But give them the illustration, but in baseball, you could hit 1 out of 3 times, get a hit, and you can make millions of dollars just by 2 misses, 2 failures to one success out of that next one. And Babe Ruth, the greatest home run hitter for decades, was also the greatest strikeout hitter, but he always had this mentality. He knew his percentages. He said, He said, okay, well, I'm getting closer to my next home run, my next hit. Because I got so many strikeouts in a row. I got a lot of them. So man, I must have a lot of home runs coming, a lot of hits coming. And tell them that's the kind of mentality you need to have. That's part of life, of anything that you're going to, especially at first, have a lot of no's. And you're going to have ups and downs in life. And ask them, say, when you hit those ups and downs, and you have it in this business, just like you have it in everything, how do you want me to help you? When you get those times, let them tell you how they want help. And then you need to come into them and say, oh, you really want me to do that? And have them tell you, you want to do that so they know you're here to help them. They're asking you for help, not you pushing them. So that's important to do. And tell them what you hear so constantly us saying in the Wisdom Builders team and in Neil Life. Most people, and tell them this, most people overestimate what they can do in a short time, but underestimate what they can do in a long time. And I think it's great for you to say, how long have you been in the job market? How long did it take you? You need to apply this to that person. Every situation is different. If you think they're not making $100,000, then you ought to say to them, how long did it take you to make $100,000? Oh, you haven't made it yet? Okay. So if 5 years from now you made $10,000 a month doing this part-time, that would be tremendous. No matter how many no's you got in between times, if you got that, would that be a tremendous success to you? I mean, is there any way that you, at your job, that you're going to, in the next 5 years, you're going to be making $100,000? Now, for some people, you're going to need to pick $1 million, but you need to slow down and do this to help get their mind in the right gear, because so many people start off with unrealistic expectations, and that's helping them have failure. That's increasing their chance of failure. So the learning to do what I just said is really critical. It can really help them to have the right mindset going into this. And so, let them know that in a job, usually a lot of times you get started, you start making, good money, immediate money with a job, but the increases are not that much usually, unless you go from janitor to CEO. And whereas in this business, you don't make a lot up front. It takes a while to get that, like starting a business. Most people don't get into the profit margin. Most people don't realize this, even in franchises. They have to put this in writing, that most people, they spend $500,000, $1 million. They're not even going to get back to break even for 5 years. But again, the profits in the end of the constant money, the bigger money they can make than they can make in a job. And it's the same way in this. And they just have to hang in there. And you ask them, are you committed to doing that? I mean, I want to be honest with you, realistic to you, because I want you to make that bigger money if that's what you want. If you just want 1,000, that's fine. But if you want to make the bigger money, I just want you to realize it's going to take a while. And even that 1,000, because again, when you make that 1,000, it's, it could be residual money. Whereas your job, I mean, you stop showing up at work, there's no chance of you continuing to make money normally. Whereas this business, you can build up a business to whatever size you want, get it stable, and then you can a lot of times count on that money, because people can't go find better products than these. They can't find a better business opportunity than these. Again, the average person starting a business spends $55,000 just to start a small business, with 50% failing in that first year and losing all that money. So this is an unbelievable opportunity for you. And I just want to know, again, do you really want me to, if I see you hitting that low, not showing up for Zoom meetings, not showing up for Breakfast of Champions, and I see you not signing up people, do you want me to call you and talk to you? But again, I think that you need to help them have success. That is the best thing you can do, is to tell them and to say to them, would you like a brand new surgeon working on your friends and your loved ones? Somebody that's never done surgery before. Is that who you'd like doing surgery on your loved ones? Ask a question. No? Okay. Then let me help you with your friends, because these products could maybe prevent some of your loved ones from having surgeries. Let me be the one. Bring those people to me. Let me do the presentation for you. Let me answer the question for you. Let me help them if they see something they like to get started. Let me help you with that. But then say to them, but I do want you to know, one of our other goals is to get you independent as quick as possible. Why? Because you're setting an example. You need to realize this right now. The sooner you start taking action, you're setting a pace for your future people that are going to sign up with you in this business. You're setting that pace. I want to help you set a good pace, a pace you can be proud of, a pace that you can want people to follow, because they're going to do what you do. If you do nothing with this business, then their chances of doing something and succeeding are less. Don't you want the people you sign up to have success? Then let me help you. Let's take action. Bring prospects to me. Go through your phone and tell them, and this is critical to say to them, we don't need them to sign up. Because a lot of your friends and loved ones are going to be the slowest in signing up. But we need to get that process started. See, they know they're going to see you next month, next year. They know where to find you. And they're just, most of them are just going to say no and then look at you. Did you keep that? Do you still think after 6 months, after a year, that these are the best products in the world for somebody to take, or are you going to be on to something else? So they're going to wait, and that's okay. But you want to start that process, because those are the people you'd like to have success the most. Those are the people you don't want. You want to help them to have a less chance of getting cancer, a less chance of getting, you don't want to find out heart disease, heart attack. You don't want to find out later that they had cancer, that they hadn't told you about it. They had digestion problems, had their, intestines taken out. When you could have helped them not to go through that, you want to at least know you told them about it. And so they can't blame you and you can't blame yourself because you gave them the best chance to know about it. You want to start that process, but you don't need those people. I just want you to know that. Don't worry about what the reaction is, because we will teach you how to find unlimited leads. We've got training for that of other people. And some of those people will be easier, faster to sign up. It takes a lot of work. I don't want to act like this is any get rich quick scheme. But you don't need those people, but you do need to get started. And if you don't feel confident enough in going to them, then you shouldn't go to anybody yet. Because you don't realize what these products that you have in your hands can do. And you need to listen to Lawson. We need to talk more. I need to do a better job of letting you know what you have. We need to go through this catalog, let you understand why our digestion products are better than what they're going to get over the counter or from the doctor a lot of the times. And so again, you doing this and setting their expectations up is so important. And I just can't stress it enough. This is why it's so critical that you come alongside of them.
Okay, I so appreciate Lawrence. I mean, some of you don't know who he is, but this is Josh's father, and Josh used to be our VP of sales. Jennifer, I don't know if you probably don't know the history a little bit of the company, and now Josh went off to do some politics, and now they've hired Stephen and Ashley. But I met Lawrence and Marjorie when they were first building their business 30 years ago. It was a year after I had started, and watching them, and I think at that time it was 10 children, coming to convention in a bus, and all the kids had garbage bags as their suitcases because they couldn't afford suitcases, coming to the Operaland Hotel. Or actually at that time, I think it was a Ritz-Carlton. Yeah, could you imagine a bus? It was literally a bus that was looked like it was falling apart. And those kids got off that bus, and I just thought, wow. And they were one of the fastest growing distributors that were starting at that time, and just their journey and their story is just beautiful. So his message comes from experience. His message comes from 30 years of finding out what promoters need and what you guys need, and what you need from us as leaders to help you and to guide you and to support you. And I was so grateful that I had that support. Lynn, you and Joan, you knew the support we had from Alan and Elise and my uplines. And I mean, they're gone now. They passed on, but they were so good at making sure that they took care of us like babies. right? Right, Lynn? They took us they held our hand every step of the way. And I remember apologizing to Al saying, oh, I'm so sorry. This is the 5th time I've called you today. He's like, Nada, we want you to call. The more times you call, then that's telling us that you're learning and you want to get better. And that's what we want. So don't ever feel that you're calling too much or texting too much or messaging too much. And sometimes we can't get back to you because we're busy, but that's okay. Just know that we appreciate the communication, because that reminds me of how excited I was when I started my Neolife business. I knew nothing. And you have to remember, back then, we didn't have apps and cell phones and internet or email. Everything, I had a brains in a box. Remember the brains in a box, Lynn? It was literally a filing cabinet we put in our car with photocopies of all the products alphabetically. And then I had a testimonial box that I printed testimonials that I would email people or hand people. There was no scanning, sending. My goodness, it is so much easier for you guys to build this business. And it's just a matter of building the relationships and building that family unit. So anyways, anything else that you guys got quickly before we close with Minute with Maxwell? We still have about 10 minutes before we have to, or even 7 minutes. Anything that you, maybe an important part or something that kind of hit your heart? You shared so much. Anybody? Did you get anything out of it? Come on, guys. This is your show.
Lots.
I know you wrote lots of
notes.
notes.
How do we
Yeah.
access Don Lawson information? Do we just Google it and we'll end up there?
Actually, you know what? That's what I meant to. Thank you for bringing that up. So Jennifer, Dr. Don Lawson was a gentleman that he became paralyzed from polio at age 18, I think it was 2 or 3 months after he got married. And his wife, long story short, got him on products not from Neolife, and then later he found Neolife and she literally nourished him with the Neolife products. It took 10 years, but eventually was not paralyzed, and he got his doctoring degree verbally, and he traveled all over the world with Neolife for over 30 years, doing presentations and health talks. And back then we just had cassette tapes. So I still have some of his cassette tapes, but some people have downloaded them and they put it up, I think, in the Wisdom Builders group, and also on YouTube. I think if you Google Don Lawson, Dr. Don Lawson, Neolife, some of his talks will come up when.
Okay.
And incredible man. When he passed, they gave him, not a very long life, just a few years to live. And he lived over 30 years with that. They said there's no way he'd ever walk, no way he'd ever talk. And just an incredible, he was in an iron lung, for like a breathing machine, for 10 years. He couldn't function without. And after being on the products for 10 years, yeah, he got his fine motor skills. It did not come back, but his large motor skills did. So it's kind of cool. So anyways, he does amazing talks. So definitely worth listening to. He talks a lot about the products, a lot. And he is the guy, this is one of the reasons why we're not afraid to recommend lots of product, because he would talk to somebody and say 12 salmon oil, 10 vitamin A. And we're like, what? Initially, right? But then when we started seeing results, and how these products were so safe because they were made from food, and he would explain why you needed, like if somebody was really ill, taking 1 TreaNN, that's for a healthy person, right? Not for somebody that's so unwell. So anyway, so that's why we're not afraid to take a lot of products, to share different product recommendations, because we understand the importance of whole food supplements and what good quality supplements can do to help people turn their health around. So yes, definitely worth listening to Dr. Don Lawson. So Serena, you're going to show something on your note. What's one of the big things on your note that your notes that stand out the most?
I think, well, one of the big ones I think is making connections and friends. Because
Yeah.
I think just even what we're doing here now this evening,
Mhm.
it's, yeah, just I don't know, it's just, it's like a community, like a family of like-minded people, and it just makes it so much easier.
Yeah. And I think you hit it on the nail, the community. Because I remember a few people said to me quite a few times is, wow, you've been doing this for 31 years. You have people on your team that are still executive managers, or that are still senior managers, or that are still managers, but that's okay, right? And they still come to the meetings. Some of them still come to convention, when we were going to our office, because they liked the community. The products were important to them. They're shared with a few people that they cared about, and that's okay. They didn't have that vision of making $1,000 or $10,000 or more a month. They were happy. They're happy with that, but they stay with it because of the community and the positivity and just the connection. And there's never any pressure. I received a phone call from a promoter, and she was feeling guilty. And I said, why? And they felt like they were letting me down. I said, you're not doing this for me, right? I said, you're doing this for you. I'm here to help you, right? I'm not disappointed that, this happened. I said, I want what's best for you, right? And that's what we want. We want what's best for you. If you want to grow fast and aggressively, then we can help you do that. But you don't want to grow too fast or too aggressive, because then you'll lose that time to connect and to build the relationships and build trust. But you can still build a great business and generate income quickly. It's just being consistent. That's the key, is the consistency. Okay, Joan.
I like the part about making them want to marry Neolife. I think
Yeah.
we have already married Neolife. That relationship.
Yeah, that means you got to put up with everything, right? All the ups, all the downs, all the challenges, right? Turn things around, turn them to positive things. Like, yeah, it's true. I mean, it's not all, smooth sailing, right? Just like a marriage, but you work at it and you communicate and you reach out to your team and your upline and people in your organization. That's where that community comes in to support. Thanks, Joan.
And I find myself, when we're talking about Neolife, I go, we, it's like we, it's me and them. So we, as opposed to Neolife, it's like we,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Excellent.
Anyway, I think it's time, 7:49.
Yeah. Any other, Jennifer, how are you feeling? I know you're
Yes,
fairly
sure.
new.
What is the Breakfast of Champions?
Oh, we get together once a month after the month end closes. We got together actually at Shelley's, and then we also Zoom people in that want to watch via Zoom, where we do recognition, and we're trying to get together in small groups again. Once a month we get together, literally together, but those that are not local can call in by Zoom, and that's where we do recognition, and we share. If you do come together, we usually do a potluck and have a great meal together. So that we used to call it a Breakfast of Champions, and then we started doing it in the evening, because it used to be Saturdays. They were doing it on Saturday mornings in the States, but a lot of parents have sports with their kids, and so we couldn't get together on Saturdays. So we decided to do it a Friday night.
Cool.
Gathering of champions.
Champions now, because people are doing it at whatever suits their team when they gather.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. I think this would be a great tool to share to your promoters that weren't able to join us this evening. I think the messages were quite powerful. I actually sent Lawrence a message today and told him how much we appreciate them. They're letting us use their tools. They're not part of our team at all, Jennifer. That whole Wisdom Builder group, they're another.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, they share everything. Nice. Yeah, they don't hide anything, and they appreciate. They reach out to me, and I reach out to them, and they let us use all their trainings, all their tools, which is, they're just beautiful people. So grateful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice. All right. Well, I'm going to stop the recording. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.